We ran over to the other side of the ship, and we thought we seen him drop something, and then some PBY bombers that were on the launching ramp at the Naval Air Station there blew up. When the planes banked around, then we seen the Japanese emblem on the wings. That's what started it. We did manage to get some ammunition up from the magazines via the ammunition hoist, but the 2 torpedo hits that we took, not the power of it. With no power, you can't run the ammunition hoist. And then they started passing ammunition by hand from one deck to another all the way up. That was a nasty job, and that's where we lost most of our men, because later on we got a 500-pound bomb, went down through 3 decks and exploded in an area where they had a number of 5-inch anti-aircraft shells laid out. And it created a serious fire, and we were burning pretty much from one end to the other. And of course, with the torpedo hits where they were, it released a lot of our fuel oil. The harbor water was covered with fuel oil. That eventually caught fire, and it actually prevented us from abandoning ship until that fuel oil was caused to move away, and anybody that abandoned ship, jumped off the ship or jumped off from the ship down to the mooring quay, then into the water, they headed for Fort Island. Actually, I was halfway there swimming, and I noticed these little pinpoints of water spouts. The fighter planes, they were strafing us. There was a large number of dredging pipes. They had been dredging the harbor. They were moored out there in the middle of the harbor, and I crawled under those dredge pipes for shelter until the attack was over. So I stayed at Pearl Harbor for almost a year after the attack. While I was at Pearl, I was trying to locate some uniforms, and somebody told me about a hangar over at Fort Island Naval Air Station that had clothing and also luggage. Lo and behold, we found the hangar. It looked like it was several acres of suitcases with all things that had been salvaged from the ships that were sinking. And I had a friend of mine with me, and I says, "Hey," and I had a little suitcase. I said, "Just like that one down there." It was standing right next to it. And I says, I started to reach for it, and the Marine sentry pointed his rifle at me. He said, "I wouldn't do that." He came over, and he said, "If you could tell me what's in that little suitcase," he says, "and it indeed is, why, okay." So I told him there was a pair of slacks in there, a Hawaiian shirt, and a pair of ice skates. I used to go ice skating up here, I think it was Tacoma. But that was one of the hobbies I had before I shipped in the Navy, was speed skating. He says, "Ice skates?" So we opened it up, and there was my ice skates. And they were stored all the way at the top of the main mast.